Hello everyone, you all are welcome in the new video. So today we are going to learn about another international body, Quadrilateral Security Dialogue. So let's begin our video. What we are going to learn in today's video, let's see. So today we are going to learn about Quad, its objectives, its significance, especially for India, recent Quad summit, challenges and criticism of Quad, then concerns with India, then the way forward. So let's begin the video. Its introduction. So Quad is an informal strategic forum comprising India, United States, Japan, and Australia, aimed at ensuring a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific. So, Quad is an informal strategic forum. First of all, it comprises India, United States, Japan, and Australia. So there are 4 members in Quad, and its main focus is in Indo-Pacific region, which is very strategic for all the countries, and also it ensures free and open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. It was initially formed in 2007. Then it was again revived in 2017 as we saw that China's assertiveness was growing in the world in terms of exports, in terms of military uh, expansion in its military. So it was revived in 2017. And also due to common strategic interest in the Indo-Pacific region, as all the nations are very interested in the Indo-Pacific region. And also there is a growing challenge of the China. Moving ahead, let's see the objectives of Quad. It promotes a free and open Indo-Pacific by upholding international law, sovereignty, freedom of navigation under UNCLOS. UNCLOS, we all know that it gives 3 types of boundaries for each country's maritime expansion. If you see, it includes continuous zone, EEZ, economic exclusive zones. These are some zones which are given to all the countries in terms of maritime boundary to carry out researches, to carry out trades. So it promotes a free and open Indo-Pacific. It is wherever you heard Quad, then Indo-Pacific words should come in your mind because it is mainly based on Indo-Pacific only. It enhances regional connectivity and infrastructure, focus on infrastructure development, digital economy, and supply chain resilience. The main important thing is that it was formed to counter, it was not formed, it was revived in 2017. We saw earlier that to revive for countering China's hegemony as growing assertiveness in the world, China's ensuring strategic balance in face of China's military assertiveness in South China Sea and Indo-Pacific Asia. We saw that China claims the South China Sea as their part. So also there is lots of military activities which is going on by China in the South China Sea and also in Indo-Pacific. So it somehow makes threat in terms of military and in terms of also economy to the other countries. So the countries get together and make these alliances. Now, Quad strengthen democratic partnerships. It promotes democratic values, rules-based order, and also shared interest, which is very important for all the countries. Moving ahead, let's see global significance of Quad. So it's stretching balance in Indo-Pacific. It counters China, we earlier saw, and militarization in South China Sea. It promotes a rule-based order. There shouldn't be like order, world order is there like some countries is ruling over all the worlds in terms of economy, in terms of military. So Quad promotes a rule-based order. Maritime security. Launch of Indo-Pacific Partners for Maritime Domain Awareness. IPMDA. Indo-Pacific Maritime Domain Awareness. It emphasizes on open sea lanes, freedom of navigation, and close compliance. This is very important that when some organization supports, then the laws becomes very serious, and every country has to follow it. Okay, so when Quad countries they do follow the laws, then they also force another countries to follow those laws for the betterment of the world. Health diplomacy during COVID-19, Quad placed 1 billion vaccine doses for Indo-Pacific. We also witnessed this horrible COVID-19, which was an epidemic for all the world, and its beneficiaries was Bangladesh, Fiji, etc. Critical technology and infrastructure. Quad semiconductor supply chain network 2024 to ensure chip supply security. Digital collaboration in AI, smart agriculture, telecom. So these are some global significance of Quad. Okay, in terms of strategic balance, maritime security, health diplomacy, critical technology infrastructure, trade and economic integration. Moving ahead, let's see significance of Quad, particularly for India. Strategic leverage against China. Like we saw, there are so many clashes between the army of India and China for the border issues going on. So somehow Quad nations provide an strategic leverage. It boosts India's morale, and also some in international relations we all know that there is no permanent enemy or no permanent friends. It's just a permanent interest those two countries are having together. So post Galwan clash in 2020, Quad serves as strategic signaling without a military alliance. Okay, so without showing directly to the world that we are together and helping India, the Quad group shows a strategic signaling. It also boasts to act its policy of India. In defense cooperation, we saw Malabar naval exercise, which helps annually. These exercises are very good for the countries to synergize among the defense and all three defenses. So military exercises are very important. You should keep in mind. Economic and technological gains. So these are the some areas for the significance where Quad plays a very important role for India. Moving ahead, let's see the latest Quad summit, which was held in 2024. It was held in Wellington, which is there in Delaware in USA. Delaware in USA. Okay, so there they had some declaration which was all according to Indo-Pacific region and also to counter China's assertiveness. So this was all about declaration. India hosts 2025 Quad Summit. This was 2024 and India hosts 2025 Quad Summit. And also it marked the 20th anniversary of Quad. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now let's see what were the major announcements which happened in the Quad Summit. In terms of health, investments, maritime security, infrastructure, climate, technology, and space. In terms of health, Quad cancers monsoon to fight cervical cancer. As we know, cervical cancer is very much prevalent in those countries with the women's having not good health facilities. So this is very important for the maternal health. Quad Investors Network, Maritime Matri, that is training initiative for maritime domain. Quad at Sea Observer Mission. This is very important. So whenever some countries came together for such platform, they see all the aspects like economic, defense, its health, agriculture, space, and everything. So these are the things where they came together and take some initiatives to help all the members of any organization. So Quad members are also very much interested in these areas. If you see infrastructure, then Quad ports are there. For the trade also, the maritime routes are very good. So the countries are having ports in other countries' territory with the memorandum signing them together. In terms of climate, India announced $2 million solar fund for the islands nations. We all know that India propagates its idea of international solar alliance and its headquarters is also there in Gurugram, Haryana. So we all can see that how India is leading in terms of renewable source of energy, ISA, International Solar Alliance, and MOU on semiconductor supply chain contingency network. This is very important that in the growing world, semiconductor is becoming a very important thing for in this digital world. Space also India to launch climate monitoring portal for Mauritius. India is going to launch its climate monitoring portal. There will be India with the help of its satellite. It will be launching a portal for people of Mauritius. Now challenges and criticism of Quad. Lack of institutionalization. No permanent secretariat or formal treaty. Depends on annual summits and informal coordination. As we earlier saw that the groups like BRICS, ASEAN, SARC, BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC has its secretariat at Dhaka. It was formed at Dhaka, but it has secretariat at Nepal. But if you saw about Quad, then there is no permanent secretariat or there is even no formal treaty. Just the nations come together and form this. Okay. Now China's opposition, the biggest threat to the and challenge we can say the Quad. That China calls it Cold War mentality, ASEAN, NATO. We earlier have seen, watched and know about the NATO. So you can see the video about NATO, how NATO was formed and what the role plays NATO. ASEAN, NATO. China calls it as a ASEAN, NATO. It lies a great depth meaning. And also another video we will see what is Cold War. Divergent national interest. India focused on border issues like Galwan Lake. US prioritized its Taiwan South China Sea. Australia strong ties with China, 38% exports. Japan dependent on US military protection. So somehow, as I earlier mentioned, that international relations, there is no permanent friends, there is no permanent enemy. It's all about the interest for how long both countries can have same interest and same platform. So India focuses on its border issues. US prioritizes on Taiwan, South China Sea. So we see that all those four members of the Quad, they have their own interest. So this makes them diverged from their own Quad, so which is their own organization. Uneven capabilities. Difference in economic and military strength lead to uneven burden sharing. We all know that all countries, those who are in Quad, the four, US, Australia, Japan, and India, they are not same at the level of economic and social development. So there is some burden sharing also to those developed countries. Economic dependency. Quad countries still economically reliant on China, making a unified action difficult. So here again, China's challenge is very prominent. India is part of SCO, BRICS, and IORA, which may dilute Quad's centrality. Now again, India is not just only a part of Quad; it is a part of BIMSTEC, ASEAN, BRICS, SCO. So it can dilute the centrality. That the challenges they are having with Quad, they are coming together. So it might dilute also. It's now divergent geographical priorities. India prioritize Indian Ocean while other focus more on Pacific Ocean. As you all know that India has its own. India has got three surrounded by three water bodies. So in southern we have Indian Ocean. So India is more focused about it because if anything happening in Indian Ocean, then it's direct threat to the Indian territory. But the countries those who are other members in the Quad, they are more focused on Pacific Ocean rather than Indian. So this also challenges for Quad. Moving ahead, let's see the India's concerns with Quad. Strategic autonomy. India resists joining formal military alliance that is AUKUS. AUKUS is a military alliance of the Quad group, so India resists joining this. And also, the country we are coming to this should not bind to all the laws. They should have some strategic autonomy. So this is the concern. And also the land border with China. We have already seen. Moving ahead, let's see another concerns like other partnership. India continues cooperation with Russia and Iran. We saw earlier Chabahar port. India has got its port in Iran also, Chabahar. And with Russia, we already having such a great military defense imports, which diverges quite positions. So it's good for the own country, for own benefit that we are having such relationship with other nations. But as an organization, it affects the members. They do not want that the countries should be going. And in 2025, we saw a great tariff wars, which was there by the US, which is placed on the countries those are having trade with Russia, or to the countries those we are having trade other than USA. So USA is imposing a huge tariff on the trade of developing countries like India, Switzerland, and all the countries. Moving ahead, this is not important. So what can be the way forward? Diversifying trade, reduce dependence on China by strengthening supply chain and partnership. We have to reduce the dependence on China for everything. Mutual focused on shared interest, maritime security, it's human assistant disaster response, cyber security, and Quad efforts. Open communication. There should be open communication regarding dialogues on China and burden sharing on regional roles. Quad plus expansion. Very important that there should be expansion of Quad by admitting more members, like-minded countries that South Korea, Vietnam, New Zealand. This is very important. France and UK with naval presence in Indo-Pacific. Countries should be included in Quad for the betterment of the Quad. Interoperability, there should be joint military exercises more and more that we saw about Malabar, which happen annually. There should be more military exercises addresses non-traditional threats like climate change, public health, cyber security, cyber threats, and energy security. So this was all about Quad. I hope you learn and enjoy something. Thank you very much. See you in next video.